Women are underrepresented in the energy sector. They account for only 14% of employees. Furthermore, even though women make up a sizable portion of university students, their representation in the STEM subjects, that's science, technology, engineering and mathematics, is disproportionately low, which limits their access to technical jobs in the energy sector. To speak about how these differences not only limit the advancement of the sector as a whole, but also the professional advancement and the financial security of women, I'm joined now from BP Southern Africa by their health, safety and environment leader, Liesl Esau. Liesl, good afternoon. Welcome to today. It's still a very much unlevel playing field for women in the energy sector. Can you just give us some insights about the current landscape of women in the energy sector in South Africa?
Good afternoon, Dan, and thank you for inviting me to this session and on speaking about such an important subject, particularly within Women's Month, around women in the workplace, as well as having an equal playing field. And so I think, really, to begin, the current landscape within South Africa, really, and particularly within the industry that I am in. The Department of Minerals and Energy recently did a study between 2021 and 2022, and had accounted only 20% of the workforce across the oil and industry gas globally that is contributed to women. And more particularly with the middle and senior levels dropping even lower to about 20% of women representation at senior levels within the oil and gas sector. In South Africa, in some cases, this is predominantly low.
Yeah, much lower, I guess. So what challenges do women typically encounter when they're working in this traditionally male-dominated industry?
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. And I've been in the industry for about 15 years. And, some of the challenges that we face is that as a woman, we come with just as good as technical skills as men. We come in with a number of, experience into the fields, very much technical based. But I think some of the challenges that we do face as women is that we often are the home carers, and we are often the ones who have to find that balance between work-life balance and home, and being able to, to perform equally well as our male counterparts, and also keeping on, how do we make sure that our families are also taken care of? And finding that fine balance is one of the challenges as a woman that you often face. I think some of the other challenges that we sometimes face as women is the equal opportunities within growing your career within the organizations. But I do think there are a number of initiatives that industry, and more specifically from a BPSA perspective, that we are looking to really equal the playing fields on this.
Yeah, I mean, therefore, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some positive shifts towards gender diversity and inclusivity. Do any of them come to mind to you now? Which ones would you like to highlight?
Well, I think as generally speaking, I think diversity and inclusion is definitely key strategic elements for a wide range of organizations in South Africa. And more specifically from a BPSA perspective, is looking to very key initiatives around training and development, really focusing on how that can be catered for women, looking for opportunities for experience, to really widen leadership experience as well as opposed to technical experience. But I think it's also around how we engage with government to look for opportunities that will also be positive for empowering women.
Yeah, are you confident about the future in the energy sector in particular, that women would be enabled and allowed to make significant contributions and, of course, break down that famous glass ceiling?
Yes, absolutely. And so I think I do have confidence, and I see it in South Africa across the board, but I also see it within the oil and gas or the oil and energy space. More specifically, talking closer to home within BP South Africa, BP was the first company to appoint a black female CEO, and we now have the second female CEO in South Africa, Tahela Mojapela, as well as our chairperson, Advocate Thandi Olaine. And I think in comparison to many other organizations, BP, specifically within the oil sector, we are really forging and leading in terms of having women leadership as part of our executive. As it stands right now, we have approximately 45% of our executives on the leadership team in BPSA. So definitely confident, Jan.
Well, may it long continue and grow. It should be more than 60%, hopefully one day, if not more. Thank you very much, Liesl Esau from BP Southern Africa, just sharing some of the insights around women representation or representativity in the energy sector in a company like where she works, BP Southern Africa. Still